Okay, I call to order the city council for, I don't know what the date is today.
15th.
April 15th, and we don't have a clerk. You're doing a roll call?
Yeah, I got it again. Councilmember Jennings?
Present.
Councilmember Heyman?
Present.
Councilmember Barksdale?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor? Mayor Garrett?
Here. I invite everyone, approval of, it's supposed to be Pledge of Allegiance first, so I'm going to flip it. So I will invite everyone to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the approval of the agenda, one will switch number 4 and number 3.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, switching items number 3 and 4.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any additional comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yes.
Councilmember Heyman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor?
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale?
Yes.
Mayor Garrett?
Yes. And now we have presentation from the Lathrup Village Police Department accreditation, about the Lathrup Village Police Department accreditation.
Mayor, council members, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. It is certainly my pleasure to be here today to celebrate and recognize your fine police department. My name is Ron Wiles. I'm the Deputy Director with the Michigan Association Chiefs of Police and the Accreditation Program Director for the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission. I'm here today to award the Lathrup Village Police Department with their award of accreditation. Accreditation is a significant professional accomplishment. It takes a great deal of effort and commitment to successfully complete it, and that's just what your police department did. They are the 73rd police agency in the state of Michigan to earn MELIAC accreditation. Like I said, it is a significant professional accomplishment and not something that should be taken lightly. One of my roles one of the things I have to do in my role is tour the state, and I get to see a lot of police departments. You know you had a very good police department. Accreditation made them better, I can guarantee that. Accreditation is a progressive, time-proven way to increase the overall performance and level of service of a law enforcement agency. The foundation of our program lies in the voluntary compliance of 108 professional standards. The key word there is voluntary. No one's making them do that. They did it for the sole reason of getting better. Get better within the walls of their police department and to get better within the community of Lathrup Village. Now let me try to highlight the accomplishment this way. In Michigan, there are about 600 police agencies. There's 83 county sheriffs that are elected. There's about 400 municipal agencies. The rest are railroad, hospitals, university police departments. Your police agency has accomplished something that over 85% of the other police agencies in the state of Michigan has not accomplished. That should be applauded.
Absolutely.
So let me tell you a little bit about the process and what they had to go through to achieve this. There's really 5 steps to the process. The first step, and for whatever reason, this is the most difficult step for so many police agencies to make, is just to make the decision to apply for accreditation. Most chiefs understand the importance of it, understand the benefits of it, but when it comes time to sign up for it, they are hesitant for one way or the other. So I give Chief McKee a lot of credit for making that decision to apply and get his department going in the process. The second step, we call it self-analysis. This is where all the work is done. We give agencies 2 years to complete the self-analysis phase. During that time, they're looking at their current written directives, their policies and procedures. They're looking at 108 professional standards. They're comparing the two to make sure they're compliant. And then they're making adjustments to their written directives to make sure they're compliant. Now, it's one thing to say that you're compliant, but we require them to prove it with these things called proofs. They have to pull documents, videos, interviews, things that are observable, that kind of stuff to show that they are actually complying with the 108 professional standards. The third step is the on-site assessment. When they're ready for the on-site assessment, they contact me. I send a team of assessors to the police department from outside the area to do a top-to-bottom review of the agencies. They look at the written directives, make sure they're in compliance. They look at the proofs. They do a lot of interviews. Some of you may have been involved in that interview process. They do ride-alongs with the officers. They even allow the community an opportunity to provide input about the police agency. Leads us to the fourth step. The fourth step is the on-site hearing with the commissioners of MELIAC, the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission. The chief and the accreditation team sit down in front of the commissioners. You get asked a series of questions about accreditation, about the process, about the department, maybe a program that they're doing here at the agency. And at the end of that, the commissioners make a decision to whether approve, award accreditation, or not award accreditation. And in this case, obviously, they unanimously approved the accreditation of the Lathrup Village Police Department. Now, that sounds like quite a process there. During that whole time, the police department, they made a promise. They made a promise to the officers of the agency. They made a promise to the community. They made a promise to you as their elected officials of this community. Now it's time for them to keep that promise, which leads us to the last step in this process, reaccreditation. So in 3 years, I'm going to send another team of assessors, again, trained from outside the area, to relook at all the written directives, compare them to the standards that are in place, look at the proofs, do interviews, ride-alongs, that whole process all over again to make sure they are still compliant with these professional standards. Chief, with that, if you'd please come up here for the presentation. To all who see this certificate, know that the Lathrup Village Police Department, having voluntarily complied with the standards established by the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, deemed essential for the delivery of professional police services and the protection of their community, is hereby awarded the Certificate of Accreditation, effective the first date of March of the year 2024, good for a term of 3 years. Chief, congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the applause. Thank you, Ron, for coming out here and doing this fantastic presentation. I'm glad that there were so many people in the audience that could see and hear exactly what we went through. Really what I want to do is thank my team, Lieutenant Zhang and Teresa Knoll, the police clerk. They went above and beyond their duty. This was a long process, not only to apply, but we started long before that. And trust me, they worked long hours on this, and they really are the ones who deserve a lot of credit. So if we can give them a round of
Is there any way like somebody can take like a group photo or something?
You can do whatever you like,
Well,
Councilman.
I got some
Dunning.
shots of the two of them.
He would
Well, I
like
mean,
all
like,
of them. Which, is that what you do?
And like us all just, and you and everybody, maybe like,
Should
we have like a media person. Not you. We don't want you to take the picture.
Yeah, you don't get to take the picture.
Can you direct it?
Well, we should probably come around, right?
I was looking for like maybe like a media.
Lauren is going to do it.
But we should come around so that we're not like staggered in two votes.
Are we going?
Yeah, go on.
Come on, Mike. This is you guys.
You're right.
If we can fit everybody.
Squeeze in. There we go.
Not supposed to be in the picture.
Thank you. Great idea.
Thanks, guys.
Mayor, does the council have any questions, anything I need to answer?
I don't have any questions. I think that it is a fantastic job to know that 85% of the agencies have not accomplished this. I think that in spite of, I'm like truly proud of you all, in spite of that you still got this done. So, and just to be the 73rd agency to be accredited, I'm really proud of you all. And one of the reason why I even moved here was because of the police department, and you all have not failed me yet, personally. And then for the city, you have not failed our city. And as I said before, I would do everything while I'm sitting here or here period, is to make sure that we keep our police department intact here, period. So I appreciate you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything?
They're awesome.
Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, so the next presentation is the new staff introductions. I will hand it over to Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. So as council is aware, we've had a little bit of staff turnover over the past few months, and we have been lucky enough to get some great individuals now joining our team. I know So the council, you guys have had the opportunity to swing by City Hall and meet them, but this is more a little bit more for the public to get their faces and names out there so they know who they're going to be working with when they contact City Hall. So joining me today, we have Michelle Townsend, who you guys approved back in February. She's now been with us. This is week 4 now as our finance director. Really hit the ground running. She's come to us with over 20 years of experience in this field, most recently serving in Ferndale. And then we got Steve Colley, you over there. It's week 2, 3 now?
This is 3.
Week 3. He comes to us via City of Pontiac, where he served as code enforcement officer and actually worked for the City of Pittsfield, or Pittsfield Charter Township before that, in a similar role. So we are filling our staff positions with some great people, and we're excited to have them on board, and we think we're going to do some really good things.
Well, thank you. Would you all like to say anything?
Just that I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
I was thinking the same thing. I hit the ground running, just like he said. I've already done so much in my short time, and I look forward to doing a little bit more, and I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
If you guys want, you can sneak out.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. Welcome to the team.
They sat on the far side. I had to give them the okay. See you guys tomorrow.
We don't have any, do we have zoning board of appeals?
No, for some reason, I don't know why this agenda got mixed up, but you do have ZBA tonight.
Thank you. Now we'll have it for public comments for items on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. And then if you see at the bottom of your agenda, there's some comments about addressing the council. So is there anyone that would like to speak? You want to come over to the microphone and you want to state your name? Anyone? Okay, closing public comments. Need to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Hayman,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. That passes. Next, we'll have open up the public hearings for delinquent water and sewer billing special assessments. I will give that to you to introduce City Manager first.
Thank you, Mayor. So as council is aware, last month we set this public hearing for delinquent water and sewer billing. So this essentially covers calendar year 2023 for those individuals who have not paid their water and sewer bills. If this is adopted later tonight, this will then get forwarded on to Oakland County to be assessed to that property owner's taxes to later be collected by the city.
Thank you. Is there anyone that wants to be heard regarding the water and sewer billing special assessments? If you do, you want to come to the microphone and state your name.
Please forgive me, I'm fighting some allergies, seasonal. My name is Michael Edders. My address is 1866 Middlesex. First of all, greetings to Honorable Council and citizenry here. On October 22nd, my wife and I purchased a home on Middlesex. The only water bill that we received was the regular notice, which we forwarded to both of our real estate professionals who helped us with our transaction. Not knowing that a final bill was needed, but our professionals said they went about it and went to procure a final bill. All we got was the estimated card, and that was paid. In ensuing months, I have been up here to pay that bill from, let's say, November of 22 going forward, and I've always been told that, yes, the estimated read, we're going to get somebody out to take a look at your meter and get it straightened out. And I've even communicated, I think at the time, with the city treasurer, and she had indicated to me that there were some problems within the water department, some serious problems, especially due to what happened with COVID. Finally, I want to say culminating around March or April of 23, we were able to get a water professional into the house to set up the remote read. And he told me that the read was off. Thinking that it was off, a few digits. No, it was off significantly. Hence, we now have over an $8,000 water bill. To it, there's no way we could have run that up in the time that we were there. How all this came about too was the fact that I mistakenly got my neighbor's water bill, and I saw how significantly less theirs was versus the estimated read that I was paying. So I was like, well, wait a minute, why is ours, so, and their property is bigger and everything else. So consequently, through more communication and everything else, we've been told that unfortunately there's nothing that we can do. It's our fault that we didn't get a final bill and that it is what it is. And looking back at the history, though, there have been numerous read problems from not only when we assumed it, but also the previous residents as well. So the question is, how can we ensure that, one, this is accurate as the way it should be, and two, again, it's a matter of if this was off from a time ago, why is it left for me to assume to fix? And hence we're here for the special assessment to talk about that. So that's my piece, and I'd just like to hear your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard before the public hearing? Okay, so the public hearing is closed. Mike, the city manager, can you assist Mr. Edders with that?
I can definitely have a conversation with you in the morning when I have my staff. So if anything, give me a call, City Hall, right after 8 a.m. and we'll take a look.
Okay.
But yeah, without being able to just dig into your account right now with my team, can't help you that much.
Okay.
When a house is sold, do we usually make sure that an actual reading takes place as opposed to an estimate? I mean, I know if it hasn't been, if the transmitter hasn't been fixed, obviously we can't get an actual read without going into the house, but do we ever do something like that?
Yeah, the intent is to issue a final read that is an actual read when the transaction happens. Unfortunately, sometimes if we're not notified the transaction happens, then things get delayed. But the intent is to make sure, because that's also for us a good opportunity to get in there and make sure everything's working. That's why our goal is to get to
Right, and the only way to know what's attributable to the prior owner versus the future, or the new owner.
Anything else? I closed the public hearing, correct?
You did.
Okay. So we'll go into the action request for consideration and approval. First up is going to be the request to adopt special assessment roll 2024-02 outstanding water sewer bills. Are you on that assessment first? Were you on the?
I received a letter.
Have you received a letter? You've been on the assessment list?
So do you want to pull them off? And is it possible to pull them off until we can figure out what's going on with it?
I'll double check with Scott, but I believe so.
So there's, because you're not gonna have an opportunity to add him back on until next year, Mike, do you know when, is there a drop date before this gets transmitted? Typically, there's an opportunity for residents to make these payments for whatever they may owe to avoid being transferred over to the county prior to it being transferred. I don't know when that date is.
We're really coming up on it.
I say we're probably, normally this gets done January, February, so
Right.
we're a little bit delayed. Normally it would be around the beginning of April when I think these do get transmitted. So, again, if he's removed from this list, he can't be added back on until the process starts again next year.
But I remember Pam she accounted for time for this to be adjusted. So like last year, we had a lot of residents who brought up complaints, but there was time, kind of hidden in there for, any adjustments to be made. So I think that should still be happening during this process, right?
Well, I think that's what the city attorney is saying, is that we had time before and that this time we don't. That we're doing it later than we normally do
Correct.
it.
Typically, this hearing is held in January, February, and then because there was an issue with the notice that went out, this list wasn't included in the notice for the delinquent sidewalks, but this should have all been as part of
Right.
one public hearing. So that's why we're doing this a little bit later in the season than we normally would. And I don't know when the date that they have to transmit that to Oakland County is.
We'd have to check with the county, but it's either end of April or very early May.
Is there a way somebody can get the answer before the council meeting?
Well, so there's a couple weeks, you have a couple weeks to work the problem, so.
So in order to do that, then we would have to put the adoption of the special assessment on to the May 6th meeting, make that a special meeting to approve it, correct? If we,
If you have that time, I wouldn't
Oh,
recommend
yeah,
doing it
so-
for one
Right.
particular parcel, because if you miss the window, then now you're carrying this entire balance
Right.
until 2025.
So if we, would it be possible for us to make a motion to move forward without this property and just know that if it's not fixed, we just have to wait till next year?
Yes, you could correct the role to remove that address from here if, again, yeah, you could do that. You have that ability.
so it's up to the council what you want to do. And you need the address, the actual address.
18866 Middlesex.
Correct. 188,
66 Middlesex.
so it's, what say you, council?
I'm good with it.
I just need somebody to make a motion.
I thought Dalton was good.
Well, we can make the motion and then discuss it. I'll make a motion to approve the, what do we call it? Blank on the name. What is it called? Scott?
Special assessment.
Special, thank you, special
Resolution.
assessment. Removing 11866.
18866.
18866 Middlesex
From the roll.
Second?
from the roll, yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or any further discussion?
So assuming this gets passed, then research happens, if it gets done in time, well, this is just done. Until
Correct.
next year, they'll either determine that there's a resolution to this delinquency, and then it doesn't show up on the special assessment roll for next year, or it doesn't, and it comes back on the special assessment roll.
Correct. If
for the following
the
year.
balance gets adjusted or corrected and paid in full, then it wouldn't be on the assessment for next year. If there is no resolution and the balance remains, then that's something the city will carry with it until it can be placed on a subsequent.
Unless, of course,
Special assessment.
you have enough time to put it back on there, because that would give us,
It'd have to come before
So
council.
we would have to
anyway.
do another, yeah, there would have to be another
okay.
public hearing.
Another public hearing.
gotcha.
Another resolution to amend the rule.
Gotcha. Okay, roll call, unless somebody has any other questions. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hayman,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. The next action request for consideration of approval is a request to confirm the city clerk appointment.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, the previous city clerk left the city for another opportunity at the beginning of March. The city has posted for the city clerk for almost 2 months now, and over that time, we received 3 applications for this position. The individual we are recommending that council confirms tonight does not have clerk experience, but based on our selection process and our interview, we believe they do have the skill set to become a very good city clerk, and they have the personality and characteristics that we think will fit the position that we have. So we are looking for council to confirm the appointment of Elisa Emanuel as the next city clerk. We do understand that there are large elections coming up this year, and our intent is to get Ms. Emanuel onboarded, training she needs, and then also work in securing a contractor to assist with our elections that are coming up. But we do believe she has the skill set to become a great city clerk for the city.
Thank you. Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to confirm Melissa Emanuel as the city clerk for the city of Lathrop Village.
Who's second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
I just want to note for the record, I know that she said she doesn't have any city clerk experience, but I think especially with the amount of turnover we had, I like the idea of us going off someone's, I won't say their characteristics, for lack of a better word, because I care more about us finding the right people and giving them the tools to do the job. so that they're more likely to stay here and more likely to better serve our citizens.
So I make the comment that it's a great opportunity for this person to start a career. Right? And city clerks, people don't go to college to become city clerks very often anymore. Not like they used to anyway. It can be a very stressful job during election time, under normal circumstances, historical circumstances, in interesting historical times right now when it comes to elections. So I think it's great that we're giving somebody an opportunity to grow into a role and build a new skill set. And I'd like the plan to provide support during the upcoming election cycle, so that we can have a smooth and well-run election, even with a new person who maybe hasn't run an election themselves before, that they can do it successfully.
So will you be bringing us like a plan for execution for the election, just because it's such a large election?
That is the intent. Naturally, with the contracted position, it's definitely going to exceed the purchasing power that I have. So whoever, whether it's an individual or whether it's a company that can assist with our election season, we'll be coming back to council for some sort of approval.
Okay.
So while I don't deny or doubt that she might be a very nice person, and is a go-getter and everything else, but as I go through her resume, I don't see more than 6 months as government work, period. It's mostly in communications and things like that. And coming from the background that I do for elections, it gives me pause, because it's not an easy task to administer an election. And when talking with a county clerk and a city clerk, a couple of city clerks, it gave them pause also, because this is such a, it's a presidential election. It's not, if it was local, you can learn on the job. And I have been, and this is personal to me, because I've been around clerks that have had at least a year's experience administering a election, and it's just not easy. It's not something you learn overnight. While I understand that people don't go to school to be a clerk or maybe even aspire to be a clerk, it's still about having some type of government background, some idea of just how the clerk's office is ran. And given the reason why our clerk quit, I wouldn't want to see this to be a temporary job for her. It's going to be rough. The one thing that I was thinking about is, if we didn't hire for an admin position and do kind of like somehow doing those pseudo, kind of like what Kelda was hired the first way, kind of, to learn on the job, but you're also in position. But I personally, I'm just uncomfortable, and I've made that clear to you all already. I think that Lathrup Village has done a lot of knee-jerk reactions in hiring people, because we just don't have somebody, and we see how that's worked for us. And so that's just my thoughts on that.
Do you think there's any value in, to address Kelly, thank you, to address Kelly's point, I mean, just, is there any value in opening it up for another month?
I would have a tough time, because we've already had this open for 2 months. MML, I even had my clerk friends post on the clerks listserv. As Councilmember Hammond said, there's not clerks out there. They're not moving jobs, and especially trying to come to a smaller city. And I even tried to headhunt other clerks, reaching out to neighboring counties, municipal clerks, and deputy clerks, and there's just not interest from folks. So that's why when we did these interviews and went through this process, we found someone that we believe had the characteristics to become a very good city clerk.
And also, if you recall from the people that was here for the election of, was that 21? Yeah, our election of 21, the nightmare that Kelda went through, and how you remember what I'm talking about? For just our local election, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And so for this to be a presidential election and as much light the state of Michigan alone is going to have on it. And I think that there was still some, because I know I didn't reach out to the Wayne County's Clerks Association yet. And then it's also where you can maybe do this where it's a contractual position for someone that's retired that can perhaps just, you know, I'll stop beating a dead horse. I feel it gives me trepidation.
Did you want to go?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't think you're beating a dead horse. I'm just trying to think of what the solution is beyond that, because like you said, when he's not competent, we're gonna find somebody who's as a clerk, so, and contracting is an option. Could we do something like,
Well, and that's
Con-
one, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That's one of the aspects where I'm thinking contracting election, because our clerk does more than just the election. That's the other thing we had to realize when we were doing these interviews. There's a lot more aspects of this job than just the election, even though I completely agree the election is probably the most important portion, but we had to look at this holistically, and that's where I think the contractor will be the best fit.
And it's also the fact that I know that the certification for the clerks is closed. They're done with that for this year, right? And so she can't even get that type of training from this state of Michigan or get that certification.
Their big training happened about 2-3 weeks ago. They do have more trainings throughout the summer.
But
though.
for the certification of becoming a clerk,
Yeah.
is done for this year.
So if we choose not to go with her and no one else applies before the election,
Well, I think you would you would try to get, I would think that you would try to do some type of contract with previous clerks that maybe have worked here before until.
can we do that either way?
We're gonna
I
have
think
to.
that's what his suggestion was.
So, well, my thought is, given that that's our alternative is to get someone to contract someone to help either way, I like the idea more of us going on someone based off of their character that seems like they're willing to grow into the role.
Right, well, and 2/3 of the job is non-election
Yeah.
anyways, so if we're gonna have to bring somebody in as a contractor either way, then this person can learn from them and then take it over the next election and get their certification in between.
Okay. Anyone else have any further discussion?
No, I just like really want to make sure like you have a plan in place. Like I want to see it very quickly. That's all. But yeah.
Okay, a roll call.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
No. Next up is, I'm skipping, request to adopt Arbor Day proclamation.
So to designate the city of Lathrup Village as a tree city, as part of the Arbor Day Foundation, a community is required to celebrate Arbor Day and adopt an Arbor Day proclamation. I know the Tree Committee in Parks and Rec has an event coming up towards the end of April. I believe we have April 27th. But in order to keep us rolling with the Tree Committee in Parks and Rec and becoming Tree City USA, we're required to adopt this proclamation.
Thank you. Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the Arbor Day proclamation.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Next, we have the request to adopt Resolution 2024, I'm going to assume this means 2025, Protect Michigan Kids tobacco legislation? Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Or is it Resolution 2024, the
Resolution
fourth
says-
resolution
Yeah,
of
it's
this
04,
year?
it's 2024-04.
Yeah.
So it should be.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Who would like to make the, or would you like to introduce it? Or this is mine?
Yeah.
So this is from the American Lung Association, I believe, has asked us to adopt this. I believe it is. I could be wrong because there's two of them that's floating around. Yeah, it's a resolution supporting the Protect Michigan Kids bill package. it's to have a statewide tobacco prevention policies, and we're just supporting it.
Great.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2404, a resolution supporting the Protect My Kids bill package in the Michigan legislature that will address the lack of effective statewide tobacco prevention policies.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Thank you, that passes. Next is a request to adopt Resolution 2024-05 for the decertification of local streets.
So every single year, the city has to submit Act 51 map to MDOT. This is how we get our Act 51 funding for roads. Over this past year, when I went to certify our map this year, MDOT made me aware that Catalpa between Golden Gate and Lathrup Boulevard is not actually a road via satellite mapping and site visits. So per MDOT's regulations, we have to decertify this road in order for our maps to be accurate.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-05, decertification of Catalpa Drive between Golden Gate and Lathrop Boulevard.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I'm just glad we're doing this because back when we were designing the road project, this thing gave me such a headache trying to figure out where this road was and why the numbers, the mileage numbers didn't match up, and it was all because of that little, tiny little segment, so.
That is now somebody's front yard.
Exactly.
Wow. Any further discussion?
So the economic impact in the
It-
note in the agenda says
Yeah, it's
minor.
going to be very minor Act 51 monies towards our local streets that's impacted. Unfortunately, it's tough to come up with a per foot per Act 51, but it's just going to be a very minor impact to the revenue we receive.
Will you do us the favor, and when you find out, when it eventually the Act 51 money comes in, try and
We-
let us know?
I can definitely guess because we do get a little bit more money every single year just because of how the way the state fund works. But yeah, we can try to do some math what 140 feet would be.
It's not much, I know, but it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Next, that passes. The next request to approve cost participation agreement for Southfield Road.
So back in November of '23, City Council was presented with the opportunity to partner with Oakland County Road Commission for their 11-mile project and some of the redevelopment of Southfield Road. Now that we all know that project is moving forward, the county has finally finalized their cost participation agreement. So including your packet is this agreement. This covers the cost for the city to redo the portions of 11-mile road and the portion of our tri-party share for Southfield Road redevelopment. So for us, for these two major projects, the cost to the city is roughly $298,000. So I think it's pretty good deal we're getting from partnering with the county for these major projects.
Agreed. I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Southfield Road cost share agreement.
Second?
It's been moved in second. Any discussion?
So Mike, do we have any tri-party funds left after this, or is this completing
think-
our?
This should be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The total program cost is just over $1 million, 1.02 million.
For the entire project, yep.
And it's gonna cost us 300,000.
Yep.
It's pretty, it's tough to pass up that much support.
I think it's a $5 million project total.
Yeah.
It's
Five
fine.
million total project,
Yeah.
yes, that's true.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Motion passes. Next is a request to set the 2024 citywide garage sale dates and waive fees.
So every single year, City Council sets dates and waives the fees of a citywide garage sale in an effort to kind of consolidate the garage sale season into a weekend. We also look to waive the fees to just increase participation and make it a little more simple throughout the process. So for this, if approved, we will start advertising for this, trying to collect addresses, try to make the city kind of one central hub for this weekend.
I'll make a motion to set the citywide garage sale for June 15th and June 16th, 2024, and waive any associated garage sale fee for those dates only.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Was there,
Oh, go ahead.
was there any attempt to get feedback from residents about whether these dates were good? I know we historically have done this, and those, the weekend after school gets out.
Yeah, I only base this off historical knowledge, so knowing Southfield Public Schools ends that week, earlier in that week, this seemed to be the appropriate weekend based on history.
Okay.
And we think approving it now will start giving people enough time to plan.
I wanted to make sure, will you guys have things going out on the e-newsletter and things of that nature so people have accurate information, who to contact? You know, sometimes I feel like the garage sale seems like it gets out of hand, so.
Yeah,
like,
we already started discussing that. We even found the old signs that we passed out for folks, so we're starting to get the ball rolling. We just needed the dates.
Okay.
And the next weekend wasn't available? The 21st, 22nd, 23rd?
We could potentially push it that way if city council wants. I don't think we had any other city events that would be conflicting with that. We're just kind of basing this off the school schedule.
It's Father's Day weekend. That's all.
Do we want to adjust the date?
We'll go find some good used equipment for Father's Day on someone's garage.
No suggestions, okay. Any other?
Well, you said the 22nd.
Well, then you know it's about to happen. So, I mean, it's either we can discuss it or I just simply
Would
vote
you like
no
to
for
move
it.
it to
Yeah,
the?
I would. For the 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
Okay. Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
I thirded the motion.
Do you want to change your motion?
I do not.
Okay. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
No.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
No.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Sorry. I'm thinking. Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
No,
Motion fails.
so that fails.
Yeah.
So would anyone like to make an alternative date? Or we don't have a garage sale at all?
I will make a motion to set the citywide garage sale for June 22nd and 23rd, 2024, and waive any associated garage sale fee for those dates only.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Yes, you only did it for Saturday and Sunday, not for Friday.
Correct, it was only 2 days in the original motion, so it's
Okay,
only 2
I just
days.
want to make sure. Okay, any further discussion?
Is there an issue with making it 3 days?
Well, starting Friday night?
Yeah. Friday afternoon.
Oh, I'm just thinking out loud.
No, you're thinking to yourself. Think out loud so we know what you're thinking.
Do you have an issue with that? I was just curious.
No, I think that's a great idea on the 21st.
I personally, I've only participated maybe in 1 or 2 of these citywide garage sales. It's been a few years since I've done it, but I don't recall it being 3 days historically. But maybe I'm misremembering. Possible. And maybe that doesn't matter just because the precedent is there. No reason not to do it.
I was just wondering because, I mean, I have seen where they have started in the evening, and this is a great opportunity where you can change the rules and do it for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you want to.
Do you want to amend your motion?
I will amend my motion to set the citywide garage sale for June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, 2024, and waive any associated garage sale fees for those dates only.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any further discussion? I would not say anything.
Do you want to amend your motion?
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro
Thank
Tem
you.
Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. So the citywide garage sale dates and waiving of fees has been approved. request to approve Maynard, and I don't know how you say that last name, as city auditor.
Have a hard time saying it too, but
You wanna, like, let us know?
Maynard Costerisan. It's a tough name to say.
Okay.
But as council is aware, Plant Moran had to resign as our city auditor earlier this year as they moved into a consulting role with the city. And naturally, as a consulting role, they can't audit their own books. So what the city staff did, we issued a request for proposal for auditing firms to serve as the city's new auditor. We received 4 submittals from Maynard, AHP, Yo and Yo, and Riemann. And Maynard actually ended up being the lowest cost overall, and they also had the best reviews from Plant Moran, who we had look at the technical aspects of the proposals as well. So we are looking to sign on Maynard as the city auditor for the next 3 years with the optional 2-year extension.
Thank you. Roll call, motion, please.
Motion to approve Maynard as the City of Lake River's auditor for the period of 3 years.
Second?
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. Prior to Plant Moran going over, did you guys like them anyway?
Plant Moran?
Maynard.
Oh, Maynard?
My question, my wonder was, I know they were the lowest, but I'm wondering if they were also liked the most, or
Yes,
up there.
Michelle has also, they were Ferndale's auditors as well, so Michelle does have knowledge of them, so that's another pro aspect to us as well with these. When Plant Moran looked at them, looking at that kind of outside view of an auditor, looking at auditor, they also had glowing reviews as them as well. So we believe they'll be a good fit for the city for our needs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did like that they worked with Ferndale, although Ferndale is larger than us, but you know, they're not like the largest city is also. So if they can handle Ferndale, they should be able to handle Lathrup Village, hopefully.
That's
You
the
know,
hope.
We're a little rowdy, but
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barksdale?
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings?
yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor?
Yes.
Mayor Garrett?
Yes. Motion passes. Next is the request to approve LEXIPOL grant assistance services.
So as we discussed at a previous study session, we were looking for grant assistance for the city to kind of take some of the burden off staff and kind of open our horizons to more grant opportunities for the city. The police department was in conversations with a couple firms and found LEXIPOL to be the most responsive and the one that would fit their needs specifically the best. I then had a follow-up conversation with LEXIPOL to see if they would be able to fit other aspects of the city as well outside of public safety, and they have vast experience in that as well. So based off the discussions of our study session, we look to move forward with LEXIPOL to serve as grant assistance and hire them for grant assistance services. Over the past month, we also had the opportunity to check with references, a couple of them from around the state, U.S., and they also serve the city of Rochester as well, and everyone had glowing reviews of their services. So for what we're looking to approve, it'd be $7,500. That gets us one full grant written every single year, gets us access to their grant portal. We will have monthly meetings with them, and then they will actually review other grants that we are looking to submit as well for their expertise.
I'll make a motion to approve LEXIPOL grant assistance services for a
Second.
base fee of $7,500 per fiscal year.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
So as part of their proposal, is there any guarantee around the amount of grant money that they would hope to generate?
Naturally, there's no guarantee. One of the biggest things they do tout, they do have 40% success rate. Naturally, that does sound small, but you have to remember that they're going after multi-million grants for different communities every single year. So with us, that's where these kind of monthly meetings come into play, and our big technical kickoff meeting we'll have once a year is kind of identifying what type of grants we want them to be looking at. So if we are telling them, be like, hey, we want you to only go after $5+ million grants every single year, there's no guarantee for success. But if we kind of have these conversations, make it a little more realistic, maybe we're only going after $100,000, $200,000 park grants, maybe we'll have a little more luck for these types. So I'd say 40% success rate on grants I think is outstanding. For us, it's just gonna be that planning side of things where we can see where we can get the biggest bang for our buck.
Was Rochester able to share with you a grant they received from LEXIPOL?
We didn't ask them specifics
Okay.
for the grants that they had them, right, versus what they said. We just wanted to know how it was working with them and were they successful, and both things were positive.
And then, so I'm assuming there's like some kind of review process every year where we kind of review, or is it just?
Yeah, so for this contract, it's 2-year contract, so say after 2 years, we're just having no luck with them, the services are not good, we're not getting any grants, even the kind of smaller ones we're going after, we just don't renew the contract.
Okay.
But that's, to me, that's kind of where those monthly check-in meetings come into play, where we'll see if this is beneficial, or if not, how can we adjust right now?
Okay, thank you.
And is there any further discussion?
I would just say that this is a service that we've been talking about for a long time, trying to get, and it's been tough to get city staff to focus on doing grant writing, because there's so many other obligations and responsibilities they have. So it'll be hopefully very successful. I'm confident it will be, but we'll see. We'll see if it works for us.
Any further? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale, Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Motion passed. Request to approve the Oakland County Tactical Consortium Agreement.
So this is something that's been in place essentially since 2012. Oakland County has, they're looking to amend and replace the existing agreement and having a new agreement in place. What this OTAC agreement does, essentially partners a lot of the public safety individuals throughout the county to provide professional training and kind of pool our resources so everyone is on the same page. So this is something that's been on the books for a while. Oakland County is just looking to update their agreement.
Thank you. Would like to-
I'll make a motion to approve the Oakland County Tactical Consortium Agreement and authorize Administrator Green to sign it.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Next, we'll have the first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 10 Animals, Article 15. Is that right? Me and that. Pet acquisition.
So this ordinance was actually initially introduced or brought up to my attention by Commissioner Hammond, Councilmember Hammond, sorry, still in planning commission mode. And so this ordinance, what it does is it prohibits the sale of dogs, cats, reptiles from pet stores within the city. It still allows for adoption if we had a pet store, but the sale, this would preclude the sale of animals from retail pet establishments within the city.
So I'll make a motion to schedule the second reading of an update to Ordinance Chapter 10 Animals, Article 4, Pet Acquisition, for the May 20th, 2024 City Council regular meeting.
Just answer my
Second.
question.
Been moved in second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? No, it was down here. I should have just looked further down. Whatever. Any further discussion?
So I think this is an important ordinance because there are lots of puppy mills and retail establishments that, don't necessarily work with qualified or ethical breeders, let's say, that they're just looking to make money off of the sale of animals, and I personally don't think that's a good thing, and as a pet owner, I just don't support it, so I'm hopeful that this will put some, if this ordinance is passed eventually, that it puts some guardrails around making sure that any establishments in the city that do participate in transfer of animals, they do it in a way that is in the best interest of the animals and the families who adopt them, and not just in making money.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes?
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Next, we have the request to appoint a planning commissioner. But it's all, looks like it's on one action, but I would like to separate it.
Yeah, I have it separated as two actions. I just kept one memo to
Okay,
save this
gotcha.
paper.
Okay. Okay, so it's my recommendation to select for the council consideration. Look, I'm just drawing this out as long as possible. I got it right here. I'm just looking, debating. So I would recommend Timothy Hillman to be appointed as a planning commissioner.
I'll make a motion to appoint Timothy Hillman as planning commissioner.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
No.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. And next we will have the request to appoint Historic District Commission representatives. And so it's for me to do the recommendation for that. It's 4 people.
Is it 4 or 3?
I believe we have 3.
But you need 4, right? Because it's only one person. It's okay, because
Yeah,
one person.
We have one,
That's active.
technically active person. There's a board of 7.
And there was a closing date on this?
For this, yeah, the way we kind of do these postings, the closings are before the next meeting, normally the Thursday before.
So it's my recommendation that I would recommend Gina Camo. I hope I'm saying your last name right. Gina Camo. Scott Warner. And Tom Knez.
I'll make a motion to appoint Scott Warner to the HDC.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Can you repeat your motion? I'm sorry.
I'm motioning to put Scott Warner on the Historic District Commission.
Oh, just the one?
I'm just doing one at a time. We should be doing them one at a time.
Oh, so you're making up new rules as we go along?
No, I'm making a motion.
Okay.
Because last time we did this as a group.
I forgot
then
we did talk about
yep.
it. So.
Would you like to amend your motion?
No, I would
No.
not. Payback.
Okay, so the first one up is Scott Warner.
Good.
Any-
Councilmember,
Was it seconded?
Yep.
It was seconded.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so any
second.
discussion? Hearing none? Okay, hit it.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Who would like to make this?
I'll make a motion to appoint Gina Camo to the Historic District Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Who would like to make the motion for Tom Knez?
I will make a motion to appoint Tom Knez to the Historic District Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barksdale,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. City Administrator report.
Nothing today.
Thank you. City Attorney report.
Nothing for me tonight.
Thank you. Report of boards, DDA. Planning Commission.
Planning Commission is meeting tomorrow night at 7 PM in this wonderful council chambers. We have a pretty significant agenda. It should be a really good meeting. We have a special land use request. There's a next review of a site assessment for one of the retail businesses on Southfield Road. There's a lot to do tomorrow night.
Thank you. Parks and Rec.
Yes. We are partnering with the tree committee to say go trees and yay Arbor Day. Also, there is trivia night coming up, May 2nd. Our hope is to do that every first Thursday of the month. Trivia night, bring your brains and any beverages you'd like. There may be food. There will be food. I don't know why I said it like that. There will be food for purchase.
Thank you. Tree Committee, we have a meeting tomorrow at 4:30, here, not here, in the meeting place. Yeah, that's what we have going on tomorrow. Unfinished new business. Public comments, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. There are some handy dandy rules and regulations at the bottom. If there's anyone who would like to come to speak, come to the microphone and give your name. You can give your street name if you like, but it's not requested, you don't have to. Is that it? Okay, who would like to be heard first?
Council, Mayor, Mayor Garrett, good evening. First and foremost, I'm going to move this up. May 27th is Memorial Day. Mike, I seem to recall you were hired last year at around the same time.
No.
But you were unable to organize anything from Lathrup Village. Typically, we partner with Southfield and do a Memorial Day in recognition. I've been a part of that for many years. Ian Ferguson, by the way, Lathrup Village. And I'm asking you guys to put that on the agenda because we basically have been MIA last year and the year before that, and it seems to be slipping down the list of everything. Regarding the broken water meter, can you explain the process by which a resident can have his or her meter repaired? If it's as simple as contacting you, please let us know that during comments. Also, can you please discuss what a final meter read looks like in case of a sale of a house, which I'm going to go through in May, this summer. Also, clerk experience. I would agree with the mayor when she says that we do need experience on the clerk level because I seem to recall when I was on council, we had an issue with a city manager that wasn't qualified, couldn't do a budget, couldn't do anything. We subsequently fired that person. So I would encourage that we have some person next to the clerk that, or the interim clerk that can assist in that. I'd like to say my final goodbyes to Susie Steck. She did a heck of a job bringing businesses to Lathrop. Many of us see all the new businesses going on Southfield Road, and she was accredited to that. I wish her Godspeed on that. Is there a pedestrian crossing in the future for Lathrop Village on Southfield? Can you speak to that, yes or no? If it's yes, where is it going to be? And auditors, when I was on council, we had several businesses that we recommended, not recommended, but we checked to verify that the city was in the right size to recommend a certain auditor, because we went through an auditing process to vet Plant Moran, and they ended up remaining our auditors for the city. So if you can look up those notes, we'd really appreciate it. Who is the Southfield School Board liaison on the city council? I would need to know that. And lastly, it's been 5 months since you guys have been here, and I see that your camaraderie is working really well. You're reaching across the aisle no matter what your personal differences are, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Garrett, can I just respond really quickly to one question?
Sure.
So I'm the school board liaison. I just wanted to clear that up for you if you have any questions afterwards.
It wasn't on underneath the boards, the school board. And
All right.
do you want to say real quick, have you?
Sure. So currently I'm working with the board president, Ashanti Bland, on a coming together meeting. So we're working on that currently. So we'll have that in the works for council pretty shortly coming up. And I also know they're doing the recruiting for the student board members to be able to present out on what's going on in the school. So hopefully we'll have that resurgence of them coming to our council meetings as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everybody. Adam Laurie with the Lathrup Village Music Festival. We had closed our submissions technically last weekend. We want to extend it one more week. And a really important facet of the festival is having participation from musicians from Lathrup Village. We have a handful of them, but we'd love to still find a couple more. So if anybody listening is a musician or knows musicians that live in the city or musicians that work in the city or whatever may be the case, the submission form is attached on our Facebook page. You can contact us directly at lvmfest@gmail.com. But if you'd like to have any questions or want to talk about the festival or have questions, please reach out. And if you are an artist that is interested in performing, you can also get the submission form via email or via our Facebook page. But we're going to keep it open till the 21st, which is Sunday. And so hopefully we find some more super talented people to perform. It's all coming together. We're going to have a great lineup this year. And we really hope that we have as many Lathrup Village connections on the stage as we can.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Roger Lynn. My concern is the businesses that are just south of 12 Mile on the east side. The 2-row, it's a double. I think it's like 3 addresses, 2 levels. When I drive by it, the parking lot is completely filled, you know, which is good business, I guess. But there's no advertising whatsoever of what the businesses are there, just the address only. And I guess I could go in and see on the doors, and I haven't gone to that extent just yet. But I find it somewhat interesting that there's that many cars in that lot with no names on any of the buildings. Just my personal thing. I don't know if any of you know what the businesses are. Sometime you could pull me aside and share that with me. Other than that, I guess I'll go in there and nose around myself to see what kind of businesses are in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Greetings again, Honorable Council. Michael Edders. On a walk last night with my family through my neighborhood,
Pause for just 1 second.
Okay.
Get your feedback. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. On a walk last night through my neighborhood with my family, we happened to notice that our block of Middlesex, all the way down to El Dorado, have no sidewalks on either side. However, on blocks that are east and west of us, they all have sidewalks. And I was wondering, and as a new resident, was there something in the planning to address that, or is there a reason why we don't have sidewalks? And conversely, too, is the same neighbor whose water bill I happened to mention, who's been a Lathrup Village resident for a number of years, she made it a point to let me know that we're paying taxes on those other places that have sidewalks and we don't. So just curious to know if that's in the plan to do. And also, too, signage uniformity. We still have those ugly green signs that are up that kind of don't make us look like a part of Lathrup Village, whereas everyone else has the brown and white sign. So I was just curious as to if there was something out there to get those replaced as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Sorry.
My husband and I built.
Are you starting now?
Oh, I'm sorry?
Are you starting now? Are you starting right now?
I am.
Okay.
It's going to be short. I just wanted to announce that my husband and I built one of those little libraries, and it's at the end of our driveway, and there's kids' books, adult books, teen books. We have so many books that please feel free to come over right in between Bloomfield and Santa Barbara. You'll see it. Just keep moving.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard?
Good evening. Oh, I'm Cynthia Page, 28265 El Dorado Place. I know I'm quite known, excuse my attire. One of the things I'd like to address today, behind Panera Bread on El Dorado Place, is spelled different from our side of El Dorado Place. Anyone that's trying to find me always ends up behind there. So why is El Dorado spelled different on two sides of the street? The second thing I'd like to address, I would love to have Friday for yard sale. Saturday and Sunday, maybe I may have something to do Friday evening. Sounds good to me. So I would like that. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard?
Brandon Wynn. I'm the chair of the tree committee and just going to expand a little on our Arbor Day event, April 27th, Saturday at 11. We are doing it at the city-owned, it's a grass triangle at Bungalow and Rainbow Drive where they intersect. 11 a.m. Parks and Recreation Board is siding with us. They're going to provide some outside games, some music. We're going to plant a tree, just a quick little event to celebrate Arbor Day. Yeah, I think that's it. We do have a Facebook page, Lathrup Village Tree Committee, for any meeting information that we post, and also little information on how to take care of trees properly. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard? Anyone else? Hearing none, public comment is closed. For mayor and council comments.
Oh, go ahead. Were
No,
about
you
to
go
say
first.
something?
Go ahead, go first.
Go.
Oh, no, you already.
I saw your hand going like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were. Okay. Really quickly, I wanted to make a note that we have those dog trash bags in the parks. They're empty. Is there a way we can get those refilled? And then just lastly, just again wanted to congratulate the police department on their accreditation. And Mr. Edders, can I please talk to you afterwards as well? Thank you.
Done?
Yes. Thank
Ms. Page, you do have your Friday. We'll look into it for the El Dorado spelling, if you could find out, city manager, about that. Also, partnering with Southfield for Memorial Day, agreed. If you can make sure that,
I'll reach out to you.
and I will also
That's what it was.
follow up. Okay. For Mr. Lynn, the no advertising on the buildings, if I'm not mistaken, and I do not know every single ordinance in Lathrup, please note that, that I don't believe they can have signage of the different buildings, different businesses on that particular building. They would have to get them a monument sign, which I don't even think they have the right-of-way space for the right-of-way sign.
If it's the building I'm thinking of, I think you're correct.
It's the two buildings down at the end, but that's,
Yeah, most of, I'd say a good portion of their parking lot is county right away, so you wouldn't be able to put a sign out towards the road, so they'd have to get very unique with how they advertise everything that's in there.
anything else you would like to say towards that, city attorney? Okay.
I'm not even 100% sure. I have an idea, but I don't want to comment on any specific properties.
Right, I understand that. Okay. Mr. Edders, we'll talk afterwards. I do know what's coming to mind. I'm trying to formulate the right words to say it, and is that we all pay for the sidewalks, whether or not we have them or not, because we all have the ability to use them. Same as with the streets, that maybe you don't use a newly paved streets, but you have the ability to use it if you need to. if that makes sense. Oh, then there is a comment that I just happen to, I like every now and then to pull up our Facebook feed and comments. And maybe I'm being sensitive today, but I didn't know the date because I have a bunch of dates that's running up into my mind. I know today now is April 15th because it's tax day. Hopefully you all did your taxes or you got an extension. The other thing is I do know that there is no clerk here. It just, usually if you've been doing this for what, 7 years now, and you have a cadence that goes, and you go, city clerk, roll call please, and that's what made me stop in my tracks to say, oh yeah, we don't have a clerk. So just expanding this. Sometimes, you know, we also have to show grace to people that also work during the day. All of us are working council people, and we are grateful for all of us to be sitting here, but it is that we're doing maybe double and triple duty up here. And so sometimes you might just forget some things, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So it happens, and by the grace of God, I hope we extend the same grace to you all. So also, I would like to say that I'm very, 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 very proud of the police department. And I keep saying in spite of, because there was a lot that to go through to get that accreditation while also being attacked by people. That was an incredible accomplishment that they did. And so I would just keep saying kudos to them. They kept their nose to the grind. I don't do well with cliches. That's the right thing, nose to the grind. So, and that they stayed professional, and to be only the 73rd agency out of 603 agencies, that is an accomplishment, and I'm extremely proud of them. We have a great police force, and I can't say anything different. So that's all for my commentary for now.
I got a bunch of little things and
Yep.
a couple updates. So to Mr. Ferguson, there will actually be 3 pedestrian crossings on Southfield Road. So one is the hawk signal that Susie Steck worked on getting, which will be south of 11 Mile, and then there's 2 additional signals that will be put in on Southfield Road. To Mr. Edders, as far as the sidewalk goes, the city does have what's called the Complete Streets Plan. You can find that on our website. It's basically a plan to complete all the sidewalks and make them all walkable. The issue of doing that obviously is money to put those sidewalks in. So there is a plan, it just has not been implemented. Want to give a few updates, infrastructure updates. So we've got a lot of good news over the last month or so since our last council meeting. First, I think everybody knows that we've talked a lot the last couple of years, especially the last couple of meetings, about having to identify the service lines coming into the homes of residents, and that had to be done at every single house and business. One thing that Susie Steck did recently is she found the IDRs, which are the Inspector Daily Reports from the 1995 water meter replacement program. And on those forms, it actually had the material identified as it came into the house. So our city engineer worked with Susie to reconcile against the recent inspections that we have done, and we found that there was a very, very high correlation rate. They've talked, the city engineer has talked to Eagle, and Eagle does think that those will suffice for proof of the materials. So if that gets approved by the state, that's going to save us a lot of money and a lot of hassle, because we won't actually have to go into the individual homes to do all those tests that we've been trying to get everybody to do. So that's really good news. As far as water mains go, we're continuing to replace our mains. We're doing 1,500 feet this spring. There's 4 streets that we're working on: Avila, Roseland, Redwood, and Catalpa. 2 of those are done. One of them is in the testing phase, and one of them is about to begin. So we're continuing to make a dent in the water main improvement. Also this past weekend, a lot of you probably saw the construction on 12 Mile. That construction was to begin work on the vault hatch associated with the 12 Mile water source from Sakwa. Sakwa. So we actually have 2 sources where our water comes from. One's at 11 in Southfield, one's at 12 in Southfield. The one in 12 in Southfield has been closed down for about, I don't know, what is it, 5, 6, 7 years, somewhere in there, maybe even longer. So the idea is to get that one back up and running. So the first step was fixing the vault hatch, and Mike told us at their earlier meeting that they actually did a little bit of work inside the vault. So that's good. So the idea is to get that meter up and running. It'll provide additional flow to the north part of the city. And more importantly, I think, though, it'll provide redundancy, so if anything ever happens to the meter I'm always pointing in the wrong direction. But if anything happens to the 11-mile meter, we've got the 12-mile meter, so water can be continued to be provided without disruption. The other thing with respect to water flow, we just did flow testing on the water mains that were replaced last year, and the news is great. Glenwood and San Diego had a flow rate of approximately 1,300 and 1,400 gallons per minute. The model predicted around 1,500, so that was really good. We're right in line with the model. Lincoln East, so we replaced a water main under Lincoln across Southfield Road. And so on the east side, the flow rate went from 500 gallons per minute to about 1,250 gallons per minute, so that was a substantial improvement. And then on the west side, it went from 500 gallons per minute to 900 gallons per minute. So again, a really good improvement. So we're continuing to make progress with the water system. At the earlier meeting, it was brought up about there was a mention of the water meters being replaced, and there's been a lot of chatter about that. There's been no talk of replacing the water meters for probably about 1.5 years now. So that's a dead issue. So whoever's propagating that, there hasn't been any discussion on council to do that. Question for the city administrator. I know the corridor cleanup is a different format this time. I mean, normally it was a community event, and now it's kind of a grab a bag and do it. Was there a reason why we went with
I'd have to double check with the DDAs, they're the ones that manage the event.
Yeah.
But I can get an update for them and report back.
Okay. Again, I want to echo what everybody else has said with the police department. We've got a great police force, just strong community policing, which is exactly what we want and what makes us unique. And so it was really great to see that they went through that process, and congratulations to Chief McKee and Lieutenant Tang and Teresa and the rest of the officers. And then finally, it's really sad to see Susie Steck go, as people were saying earlier. Just a great employee. She's brought a lot to the city, has really helped with the economic development, and she will be missed. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything?
I've got things. Ms. Page, I too am a El Dorado Place resident, and I too was confused when I first moved in why it was spelled differently on different signs. Fortunately for me, I haven't had issue, but I believe we're already looking into it, but thank you for formalizing it. Ms. Ann, I forget your last name, I'm so sorry. Runyon. I believe I have frequented your library. Thank you for establishing it. It's nice.
Have to bring them back.
Oh, we bring them back. We bring them back for others to. Okay. And then I know this meeting we've been a lot of small details that we've talked about, and just for anyone very small detail oriented, trivia night will be May 2nd. Please come. It'll be in the community room. Doors open at 6:30. Yay, Parks and Rec. And other committees as well, but also Parks and Rec.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do want to be on the group of people congratulating the police department. That it is important to note that resident feedback was part of that accreditation process. And it was considered, and it was an important part of how the accreditation was achieved. So it's really and looking through the list on the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police website, it's a pretty, it's only 73 communities as noted, but there's some really important communities around us that are on that list, including Royal Oak, Berkeley, and Ferndale. So good on us for being part of that pretty prestigious and small group. Yeah, I'm going to miss Susie as well, apart from like the Hawk signals, which Bruce talked about and which she was integral in getting funding for and making happen. There's also the music festival, the water line information that was helping us out. Like, it seems like at every turn where something positive was happening for the city, Susie was involved in some way, shape, or form, and she is going to be missed. And I have no idea how the next person in that role is going to fill her shoes, but we'll support them in doing it for sure. And then, Mr. Edders, you also mentioned the green signs in your neighborhood that are a little bit different than a lot of the black signs that are throughout most of the city. So I don't know much about that, but Mike, can we look into that as well?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That's all I got. Thank you.
Right, if there are no other council comments, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It's been seconded. Have a good night.